Today I thought it would be good to reclaim the power of beginning again and again. I've noticed in my own practice a little subtle judgment, a little subtle sense or feeling that when I lose the thread of attention when I'm meditating and notice that and then come back to the present moment, that return and that beginning again carries a little something with it. It's not neutral. And this is a very old habit, old conditioning, that somehow when we set out to pay attention, if our attention gets distracted by something, that's a failing or a fault or a problem. And I've been reminded multiple times by my teacher, Mark Nunberg, but also any decent mindfulness teacher will tell you that we really need to notice that little judgment and let that go. It's an opportunity to practice healing that critical inner voice. Because the truth is, no matter how experienced you are as a meditator, or how much you think you know about mindfulness, it is in the nature of the mind to seek out things to think about. Staying right here with simple awareness, moment by moment, this is not what the mind is used to. And we've been rewarded and encouraged, consciously or unconsciously, subtly or overtly, our whole lives, never to fail, to not make mistakes, to not screw up. And yet, really wise people know, and it has also been my experience, that this is how we learn and grow, is making mistakes. And again, just to emphasize that when you notice that your mind has wandered when we're meditating, it's not a mistake, it's not a problem. It's just the nature of things. So that's what we call a practice, right? And that's why continuity of practice over time, both regular daily practice and then an occasional retreat where you have several hours or days or even weeks of continuous practice, that kind of momentum, that will help us understand more about this thing we call beginning again. That beginning again is really, really powerful. A lot of people think we've just begun again on a macro level in Washington. I don't really think we're starting over, but we're certainly course correcting. And you might think of it that way. When you notice that your mind has drifted over here, it's just a simple course correction. Bring it back to where you want to aim your thoughts, where you want to aim your attention. And you keep it aimed there and you're staying fine. And then something makes it drift over here. Oop, you notice that? Great. That moment of noticing is brilliant. It's beautiful. That is mindfulness in action. Oh, I noticed I'm not where I intended to be. My mind has started thinking about tomorrow or yesterday or some fantasy. That's a great moment. So today, as we go into practice, see if you can notice as best you can when your attention has wandered, and then notice the story you tell yourself. And it might be really subtle. Like for me, it took me a little while to recognize this was even happening. But just notice in that moment of dropping whatever you've been distracted by, and in the moment of return, can that be done with kindness and appreciation and gratitude and real interest? Oh, I get a chance. I get to begin again. Not starting over because you messed up. Not starting over because you're flawed or not good at this or whatever those little judgment phrases are. But really starting over because that's what we do. That's in the nature of awareness, perception, and direct experience, beginning again and again. Sometimes, yeah, we have sits where we only have to do that a couple times. that samadhi or that unification, that mindfulness, that sati is high and strong. But most of the time, really most, like 90% of the time, meditation is a process of beginning again, beginning again, beginning again. There's power in that. There's choice in that. There's renewal and reconstruction of our neurological and muscular, our body minds, right? So notice if you're judging yourself and see if you can let yourself be free to begin again and again as often as you need to. And don't let that be any indication of anything other than each time a little stronger, each time a little clearer. It doesn't mean anything else.